I got is the flyer, but what they say the comfort is in having the information present, not needing it.
Yeah.
Okay, all cameras are rolling, audio's rolling.
We good to go?
Uh-uh.
Whenever you ready, you tell me when you ready. This is
Now
just a
we're good to go.
conversation like we just been rolling. I'm just gonna do this
Is my
intro.
phone in the camera?
Yes.
You good to go.
Well, I just want to. Well, I want to make it so that.
Nah, you good.
All right.
You
well,
good.
let's
Like
roll.
this is just a conversation that we have. Like we just sitting in the shop.
You put it like on the other
On the other leg.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like by the
And
chair.
by the chair, like in the yeah, like in the cut maybe. But yeah, this is just a conversation we have. You know what I'm saying about what's presently going on. Just like we just been sitting here, you know, chopping it up. I may do an intro. I may not. I think I'll do it later and just save that. But you know, you ready to go?
Everything's rolling.
All right, man. So I guess I'll just start it off. Pleasure for you to be here. We at the Roots Bookstore. I always say live on 15th, like, you know what I'm saying? But we outside, you know, we inside, but we, you know, on 15th Avenue at the Roots Bookstore Market. And it's a pleasure to have you today. Our guest is Stephen Hunter Johnson. I don't know why I'm always like quick to want to say Jackson, but and from my understanding, you're a practicing attorney, lawyer, amongst other things, a very visible and active member of the community, man. Whether it's the Black Affairs Advisory Board, 100 Black Men, those are the two that I'm very familiar with you being active and a part of. And I've always seen you, you know, like we chopped it up earlier before the camera started rolling about, you know, the times we both been at certain town halls and you say something and I just be like, that's what needed to be said. And so with Q&A, questions need answers, this is a space where we want to ask questions, not always to like to have a rebuttal to, but
Right.
to understand. Because
Right.
I don't know everything, you don't know everything, but together we can share a common understanding of certain situations and how do we move forward. And so it's a pleasure to have you. I appreciate you for, you know, just when I shot you the DM, you just like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's
You know what I'm
go.
saying? And we hit a day, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
appreciate you for being here.
And first of all, thank you for having me. I'm kind of old school that way. It's 10% talk, 90% action. If somebody says, "Hey, come do this or come do that," okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's move on it. Because the only thing good that can ever happen has to happen through action.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So before we start, man, we were just having a conversation about, you know, just the current state of affairs and where we at as a country. And it's locally, statewide, nationally. And what I would like to know, what are your thoughts on like the whole, you know, what's going on?
You know, it's funny. I've been having this conversation a lot recently. Here's what's going on. Black America is sitting at a precipice. It's being asked two really important questions that we as a community are going to have to answer together. And you're the one who said, "Hey, I want you to tell the truth," so I'm going to tell you the truth. We're being asked on one hand whether or not we are going to continue to participate in politics the way we always have. And we're being asked on the other hand, how much BS and crap are we willing to accept from our governments?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been asked this question before. We were asked the
Yeah,
question
yeah.
after Reconstruction. We were asked the question. We were asked the question in the 60s. We were asked the
Yeah.
question. It is 2025. I don't think I thought when I was born I was going to be asked those two questions. I don't know if you thought when you were born you were going to be asked those questions. But here we are in this moment being asked those questions. So what's our government doing? Our government saying, "Hey, I'm not making a place for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck."
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the Democratic Party saying? "Hey, we're not really going to be able to make a place for you, your politics, your ideas, your issues. Good luck." And what do you do with that when people tell you that, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you react? I know yesterday was Louis Farrakhan's birthday.
Yeah.
So of course, the first thing that pops in my head is do for self,
Yeah.
because it's what the ancestors did anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to deal with this together. Whether or not we make the right decision, because I can look back at the decisions the ancestors made, so can you, and say, hey, I don't like this decision, I don't like that decision.
Yeah.
That's really immaterial.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all going to be part of our history, and we're all going to be part of this inflection moment. What do we do?
I always say it's trial and error until we get this shit right.
Oh, correct.
Like it's all trial and error until we get it right.
Listen,
you know?
if you're born black, you're born with certain superpowers, but perfection is not amongst those superpowers,
Yeah,
right? So there have been plenty of things that I've been wrong about. There have been plenty of things that I did not anticipate. I can tell you that when Ron DeSantis started as governor, he was actually on a run that made me say, oh, he's going to be fine, right?
Yeah.
So you go back, I can tell you about some of his judge picks people outraged about. But low key, Ron DeSantis appointed Judge Brinkley to the bench. And from my perspective, in my politics, you couldn't have a better judge than Judge Tanya Brinkley. Right? People complain about redistricting.
Yeah.
I get it, but I also look at those little blue areas on that map,
Yeah.
and I can see where our people live, and I can see, oh, wow, this isn't a loss. This is for, presently, as it stands right now, 3 black districts and a possible. So, yeah, there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
but is there opportunity in that lot going on?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody runs around and I get it. We're in the governor's race. I know that the leading Republican is a black man. And I know, ironically enough, the leading Democrat is a white man. And I know that there are white and black people on both sides of that race.
Yeah.
Right? So Jerry Demings is running, David Jolly is running as Democrats.
Yeah.
Byron Donalds is running, and the racist Fishbeck and this one and that one are all running as Republicans. There is white and black on both sides of those races.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we live in a world that you could have never anticipated, where the leading Republican is the black man
Yeah. Yeah.
and the leading Democrat
Yeah.
is the white man.
Only
That's
in-
the world. That's what we
Only
got.
in Florida.
Is it only in Florida?
No,
Or is it
no.
only in 2026
yeah.
America?
Yeah.
Right? Is it only at this inflection point?
Yeah.
Yo, low key, and I'm going to tell you this. Everybody's making all this noise about what's happening in Tennessee and how they disenfranchise the black people in Tennessee.
And cutting people out of the vote, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, but here's the hustle. Tennessee's one lone Democrat is a white man. Here's the second hustle. Who has all of Memphis now. By slicing up Memphis in 3 ways, when that white man was being challenged by Justin for the seat, are they disenfranchising us because of party? Or are they merely protecting the whiteness that holds that seat?
Yeah. Mostly party, if you ask me.
Maybe. But all I know is that it was a black man about the challenge, and it looks like be successful challenging the white man for the seat. And then they came in and chopped it up. Like the dynamics, if you change your perspective, the dynamics change. And we are in, if Reconstruction 1.0 happened after the Civil War, Reconstruction 2.0 happened post-Obama.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where are we in that in that loop of things? I think it's the real question.
Yeah. That's great. That's interesting you say that, because I always try to look at things objectively without all the emotional attachments and polarization that goes on. And so when we, the reason I brought you here was mainly about the Senate bill that, of course, has passed. It's been some time. They started at the first legislative session in January, and it just passed in March?
Yep.
So
the governor signed it in April.
In April. So the 22nd, right? So where are we? Because for some folks, can you explain that bill and what does it mean?
So essentially what happened is the state of Florida passed a bill that said our local governments and municipalities can no longer expend their resources on programs and efforts that promote any sort of diversity, equity, or inclusion. Now, they term it DEI, and DEI is a bad thing. When I was growing up, the concept conceptually was affirmative action, and then that became a bad thing. At the end of the day, let's take all of the names out of it and call it what it is. Hey, if something is designed to benefit or support black people or black citizens, the state of Florida has made that illegal.
Yeah.
This state of Florida, it's pretty impressive when you think about it. Florida once was a Confederate state. Florida, the Confederate state, literally passed laws to make it so that black people couldn't vote. Not during Reconstruction 2.0, which is where we are now, but in Reconstruction 1.0.
Yeah.
And now here we are in the middle of Reconstruction 2.0, and the concept of doing anything, the government where we all pay taxes to, right? Or it will take away our things and our rights. The government no longer has the ability to spend its monies doing anything that could be considered supportive of the black community. And other communities too, and that's fine and that's great. But the otherness of it, right? The other communities that are also affected don't really concern me as much as the impact it's going to have on the black community, not because I think we're over-reliant on the government or we get more from the government than many of these other groups. It concerns me because we still haven't been paid what we were owed for
from the
what
get-go.
this government has done to us to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's why it bothers me. That's why it concerns me. But here's how it affects all of us locally. So with the passage of the bill, which goes into effect on July 1, many of the boards and committees that have been enacted, including the Miami-Dade Black Affairs Advisory Board, where I am a member, and the Miami Beach Black Affairs Advisory Committee, which we had a hand in helping to get started and encouraging, they're no longer allowed, particularly when it comes to, and this is how they always get you, when it comes to spending of money or resources. Well, here's the problem. At what point are we entitled to have a voice within our government that actually speaks from a position of weight? And I get it. We have elected officials, and I love all of our elected officials, all of them, white or black, Spanish or not. All of them do what they think is best. But none of them are omnipotent. None of them know everything that's going on everywhere. And I mean that from the best of our elected officials to the worst of them. None of them know everything. And sometimes it takes somebody coming from outside and telling them, hey, this is what's going on outside, for them to get moving on and the spark on what to do. When Miami Beach first had Memorial Day, it was kind of pandemonium. Miami Beach didn't know what was happening. It's kind of wild. It was the Miami-Dade Black Affairs Advisory Board that got together and was able to get county resources over there so that we could have the goodwill ambassadors on the beach. And it wasn't so much, from my perspective, to protect the city, but from my perspective, it was to protect those black tourists. Right? They don't know. They're coming to have a good time.
They don't know.
They don't know that the locals are mad at them for this or that. Right? You and I, we live here. We don't know how we don't go to the beach.
We don't really go to the beach.
But they don't know that. Right? So the things that we do we have to do to protect a greater community that you and I are part of. Yeah, we're both part of the Miami community. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
We both are active and loud voices here, and that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we both understand that we're both also answerable to the community,
Yeah.
which is the greater
Greater,
community,
yeah.
which exists everywhere black people are.
Yeah.
And there are different considerations there. So when you have a board like the Black Affairs Advisory Board, or even the Black Affairs Advisory Committee on Miami Beach, those concerns, those thoughts, those ideas, not only from the local citizenry and community, but the larger, complex black community, big C community that we think of and speak from, those actually get platformed in a meaningful way. And I'll tell you something about black telepathy. The stuff we're doing here, other folks are also doing elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that critical mass comes from,
Yeah.
where everybody's trying to change at the same time.
Yeah.
And how do you beat that telepathy? You just make it illegal to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what they doing. Yeah.
Right?
Because and you know, doing work with NAACP and others, that's something that I've always been like, well, it ain't just the thing that's happening here. It's a thing, like, how are other cities, and that's the question I'm always poised to ask, is like, how are we attacking this? Because they put out a whole project. They had a whole plan. I don't know how many people read it, but they told y'all in plain English what they was going to do. And we didn't have a rebuttal until after the election. Like, oh, he's not going to get elected. Like, we ain't thinking about the worst possible scenario. And to me, it was like, why are we so reactionary to why can't we be proactive? Like why did we wait until he gets elected to be like, okay, now we're going to put up our own project 2025, like a month before? Like, no. We don't need a project 2025.
Right.
We need a project 1600, because they still ain't gave us, like you said, they still ain't
1690 project.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. Like, they still ain't give us what we were supposed to get from the get-go.
Yes.
We don't need to be telling the story. We need to be like, yo, we want our check. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's wild, right? So I went back and I just happened to be looking at some old tweets, and I looked back at my tweet from November 4th of 2020, right after the 2020 election. Now, Joe Biden won that election, and that's great for every other state. But if you don't recall, Donald Trump owned Florida. The whole state.
The whole state of Florida.
The whole thing, just like, and so I didn't care about what Philly was doing. Philly handled his business. Detroit, everybody else handled their business. Florida fell, right? And so I just went through my list of, all right, these are the things that I think is wrong. And only because you mentioned it, two of the things stood out to me. One was, I said, listen, if you're talking to black people, just talk to black people. I understand and appreciate to you as black and brown, but to us, we don't understand from black and brown. Just talk to black people. And then two, reorder your priorities as to what you're going to talk to me about. Because leading with criminal justice doesn't really work. Because one, I don't believe you. History says you're not really about that life.
Yeah.
But then two, we have families, we have homes. Even this community has homes and homeowners, people who actually go to work every day, come on, pay their mortgage.
Yeah.
What are we doing to talk to them?
Yeah.
And they're doing it against the odds because the system is not set up for us. Right? So what are we talking to do? What are we doing to address black people economically? And then also, what are we talking about when we talk about paying that debt? And I wrote that 6 years ago. And I thought about it and I said, here we are 6 years later, and we're no closer to any of those three. We are farther away from all three of those. And it's not just because Donald Trump is president. It's because the reaction to Donald Trump being president means that Democrats are looking at our issues like, oh, I can't touch those, right? I got you. I'm going to come back to you, but I got to go beat Donald Trump. It means that our voices the voices that usually carry everybody else along with them, be it from feminism to LGBTQIA issues, whatever, everybody who's gotten carried with us, our voices, people feel they've been minimized. People feel like they don't have to listen to them anymore.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks they know the secret sauce to liberation.
Yeah.
When the truth is, the real secret sauce to liberation has always been our blood and our sacrifices.
Yeah, I swear equity. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So what do you think? Because, you know, every time around elections, you know, you got people who believe in voting, people who don't, people who think like, you know, I don't think the money is going to save us. But I also feel like, I remember when Ice Cube, I don't know if you remember this, but Ice Cube was like made a plan.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes I believe, and that's what I think we should do. Like, we shouldn't be waiting to see what Kamala or whoever the candidate may be is going to give to us. Like, when are we going to basically say as a collective, and I know it's a hard thing to do because it's hard to get the masses, you know, but we are small groups, you know, where you have the chamber, you have, you know, when we talk about the state of Black Miami, get us all together in one room, to some degree, a small group of us, and say, these are the things that matter. And if you're a candidate coming to get elected, this is what we need you to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is that something you see as a viable answer, or is it something added on top of it? Is it like an and or, you know what I'm saying?
So it's for me, it's really two things. One, you're right. Having a cohesive Black agenda needs to happen, or at least the conversations about them. Because I think it's the conversations, not who's right or who's wrong, but the conversations makes people rewire their brain on how I look at how do I deliver for the Black community.
Yeah.
But having a Black agenda, Ice Cube had his contract with Black America, he called it. And he caught a lot of flack.
Yeah.
And I was there. And I probably was shooting some of the flack.
Yeah.
And the reason why was because the timing of that, not what he did. What he did was 100% correct. The timing of that appeared as though he was putting his thumb on the scale one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And I won't even get into whether he was or he wasn't. Because keep in mind, because now we're going back in time, 2020. Let me show you how far we are from 2020. In 2020, we had the contract with Black America. Mm-hmm. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden had Lift Every Voice. Mm-hmm. Pete Buttigieg, when he was running for president, had the Greenwood Plan.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump had the Platinum Plan.
Yeah.
Those were all the plans for Black America.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all had names. They all had ideas.
Nice branding.
Great branding. We are an election cycle and a half away from that. All of that occurred 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. Anybody got a plan?
You don't hear nothing about it.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump didn't have a Lift Every Voice in 2024. Donald Trump didn't have a Platinum Plan in 2024.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, and by the way, I was critical of the timing. I wasn't critical of the plan itself. If anybody had bothered to read the contract with Black America, I think that we'd all find something we would agree with in there.
Yeah.
Didn't also stick with it.
Yeah.
And say, no, I'm really about we need to have a Black agenda.
Yeah.
Because the biggest criticism I hear is, well, I don't like the people who are choosing the agenda. I don't like Al Sharpton for this reason. I don't like Ice Cube for this reason.
And Bob Johnson did one back then. You know what I mean? Like, everybody got a problem.
I was talking about Bob Johnson today.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets. For 10 seconds, we had a billionaire go on CNBC and say, Black people need reparations now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bob's my frat brother, so I will say, in his credit, or to his credit, he was chased out to space. It wasn't that he was disingenuous, right? I think he wanted to get involved. Getting involved in Black activism, as you know, in today's environment, it's going to require a little bit more
Yeah.
moxie and toughness.
Yeah.
You might have to curse a couple of people out
yeah.
just to be heard.
Just to be heard, yeah. And that's the sad part is that's one of the reasons why, like, for me, I did QNA because I was just like, sometimes we just need to hear each other.
Right.
Sometimes we saying the same thing. Sometimes we saying different things, but getting to the same place. Like, and if we listen to like understand rather than respond, then we may be able to get somewhere and move forward. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I've seen it. I've been in too many rooms where it's like, no, we want to get rid of this. We want to get, and I'm like, but bruh, like they going Hope 6, Choice Neighborhoods. It's all the same thing. They just slap new brand on it, like you say, like, and then we still stuck out of the deal, and then we get less than what we were supposed to get before. Like,
And the worst thing is the powers that be will look at you, black man, and say, what are you talking about? You don't see the shiny branding. You don't see the new sign?
you don't see the new Liberty Square across the street.
And you're sitting there
That ain't progress.
So speaking of Liberty Square, sitting across the street, I'm on the phone with my wife and I say, hey, they really building a lot over here. She said, yeah, remember they're supposed to put that school in the middle. And
Yeah.
I asked her, I said, is it still black controlled? And she says, I don't think so. I said, what happened to that?
To your point.
But that goes to something else. Ice Cube created what I think was, and just to go back to that for 10 seconds, a decent starting block to have a conversation collectively as a people about, okay, what is our political agenda as a people? He abandoned it, but nobody else picked it
up.
back up, which is a reminder of, with the state of Black Miami, the Black Affairs Advisory Board did not create the state of Black Miami. It was Commissioner Monestein, Jean Monestein, when he was the chairman of the county commission. He hosted it at Florida Memorial. And different panels, one panel about, economic development, one panel about, the social welfare, and something else, right? And it was to help him as the chair kind of develop his agenda. He's got 2 years to be chair.
Yeah.
We can actually move on some things, right?
Yeah.
He does his 2 years. He had 2 states of Black Miami. What happens to this idea? So I went to him and said, Chair, it's yours. Can the Black Affairs Advisory Board continue it? And he said, yeah. And we have. We don't have the money or the resources to do it as big. And to me, we were talking about this earlier, I don't care if it's perfect. I care that it's done. Because it keeps going.
Yeah.
The conversation, I don't even have to be a part of the best conversation we ever have.
Yeah.
I just got to make sure that I've done my part to make sure we had a platform
Yeah.
to have the best
conversation,
conversation we
yeah.
have. If that's the role the Lord put me here to play for my community, right? So the concept behind the state of Black Miami was, all right, let's have a day to talk about what is going on in the community and what we expect out the next year,
Yeah.
right? And then we'll go back and report to the county commission, so at least we can say we had one and this is what happened. This is where we are. This is what's going on. And I'm fine with that. I don't care if, and I may be different than others in this belief, but I don't care if we host the state of Black Miami and everybody who takes that mic curses a slam out from the top of our head to the bottom of our toes and tells us that we ain't shit, we don't know shit, and we ain't doing shit.
Yeah. But that needs to be said
It
and
needs
done.
to be said if we ain't shit, we don't know shit, and we ain't doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That is important client feedback. If your clients are the members of our community, and you are sitting here saying, okay, I have a constituency I have to serve.
Yeah.
Because we know the county doesn't do it. Right? there are very few commissioners, and there are some. We got some real ones on that commission who I love. But there are very few commissioners that'll just sit there and let you tell them what you really think.
Yeah.
And hear you.
And hear you,
Like
yeah.
even
Without
the
a
ones
rebuttal,
who-
yeah.
Yeah, even the ones who sit through it might not hear you.
Yeah.
But to hear you and say, listen, we had a state of Black Miami and the community cursed us out. So clearly we're not doing our job is a report if that's the report.
Yeah.
Right? If that's the report back, we went, we talked to community says, we all suck. If that's the report, we're going to have to eat that report.
Yeah.
We ain't going, at least from my perspective, we can't just sugarcoat, well, that one nice lady said my tie was nice. So State of Black Miami is, I'm well dressed for this meeting, right?
And I took some photos.
Right, and I took some photos.
Yeah.
What is the takeaway? What did we affect? What did we identify to attack?
Well, I had this conversation with a few folks, and I know for me, I haven't been. I think I went to maybe the first one.
Sorry. Repeat that question again. Sit up a little bit. You're
I'm off the.
And usually it's me, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
You're good.
I'm like, I'm doing
I
good
lean,
this time.
I lean a lot. But what I was saying, so for me, what I would like to see, because I haven't been in a while, and I don't know if it's being done, but I would like to see some type of us going back and reflecting, because like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to housing, we've had all these different housing initiatives, right? And we need to look at and I'm always been a person who believe in the concept of Sankofa. Like, we need to be able to look back to see how we can move forward, right? And so, like, we've had 2010, we've had 3 or 4 charrettes that was done between Liberty City, Model City, and Brownsville. We've had slum and blight studies done. We've had Hope 6 come in and want to do something. They had a housing initiative that came
Hope
through.
6.
You had choice. Now we have choice neighborhoods, right? It's a new thing. And then, the choice neighborhood initiative. And then before that, you had urban renewal, model cities, these different things. And look at how, like, it's always been the same thing. Like, we still are dealing with unemployment. Like, they banning books, but education-wise, we still kind of like in the same place, if not worse now, with literacy. Is it due to the technology? Is it due to we escaping the public school system and the testing and whatever? Like, what are those factors? And I would like to, that's just me. I'm a quasi-researcher to an extent where I just kind of like look at things and try to examine, like, what are the holes? Because I see it and I look at it over time, like, it seemed like we never learned from the mistakes before. And, I was around Roy Hardiman.
God bless the
and
dead.
Roy,
I love Roy.
And Roy would always be, like, people didn't get, and we talking about black affairs, but when he would be talking about a lot of things, he would literally be talking about the Miami Metro Action Plan.
Yep.
Everything he based a lot of his stuff on the Miami Metro Action Plan and where black people have not gone since then. We can go as far back as model cities, but hey, the whole reason the riots happened was because of what happened between urban renewal and model cities. We could say that, right? The jobs that they had training programs for that was no jobs available. Like, how are we looking at those things? We got MD with the disparity studies. Like, what's being done? We have these disparity studies every 10 years, but what's done to kind of like, and are we looking at the numbers and say, okay, from this 10 years to this 10 years, what were the challenges? Did we get better? Did we not? And it's not so much a critique on, well, y'all didn't get better. It's like, it didn't get better because of these factors, and this is where we're going to try to move forward. And I think a lot of times we have these conversations and they don't lead to any type of constructive anything to me. You know what I mean? And that's just me being in the room. When I was a kid at the Cultural Arts Center, I would literally like all the lawyers and everybody else would come in these suits and they would meet at the end. Right. And for the tech people, like for me being in tech, I was be one of the few people that used to be upstairs and I stay there and I would record. So that's how I really got, that was my civics 101 because I used to be in the meeting like, well, what they talking about? All these acronyms, I don't know what these acronyms is, but I'm gonna go home and research them and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go to this next meeting. And I start to pick up on it over time. And so that's how I know about the different charrettes, because I've been there for them.
Right.
I've been there in the meeting when they was talking about them. Like, what happened? Like, now they talking about doing another charrette with choice neighborhoods. And it's like, well, we already got one. Like, why we not, y'all already had community input. Why we got to do another, you know what I'm saying? Like.
So, all right. Here's the dirty truth that is going to get me in trouble with a lot of people.
Good trouble.
Yeah. Everybody says that, but I'm the one that has to live with it. All right, but here's the deal, right?
You're a lawyer. You can get out of it. You can argue your way out.
You know, here's what happens. And it happens time and time again. Every time there is somebody's good idea, oftentimes there is somebody's pocketbook attached to that good idea.
Yeah.
And what happens, if you've been around this town long enough, you've seen it over and over again, is that when the politics change,
Yes.
the idea changes because the pocketbook changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We are across the street from Liberty Square.
Yeah.
Related Urban got Liberty Square. And I was there through all of that. And I spoke on behalf in good ways. On behalf of Related Urban. And I know the people involved. But you know who wasn't present? We didn't have a black developer at the time. Now, shout out to my frat brother.
I was just gonna say
He was the reason why.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it because he was a minority partner. I did it because I don't want a minority partner. I want to build capacity so that we have our own developers in this town. And this town has always found a way to keep us in the minority partner role and not graduate us to the presenter role. Right? And so that's why, for me, okay, I'm gonna do it because Related Urban went ahead and I'm gonna get myself in more trouble. Went ahead and paid the toll to the community to go ahead and make all the money it's making from doing this project. And it paid a heavy toll. And then I forget the name of the other one that used to build everything around here because Audrey gave them everything
Atlantic
around
Pacific.
Atlantic Pacific built everything around here because Audrey gave them everything around here and then put Audrey's name on it. But
Bingo.
I get it. I understand, and it's illustrative of what I mean, where the idea don't change. When the idea changes, the pocketbook changes.
Yeah.
But throughout all of that, despite all of the black builders in the United States of America, as well as my homeboy Ariel Lundy, who I keep telling, brother, you do wonderful work. Just go ahead and do it. There's nobody black playing in this particular sandbox, except, of course, the Urban League. Shout out to the Urban League. Shout out to T. Willard. But even that's not the same because it's the Urban League. It is a black legacy organization. It is not a black developer. George Perez used to work at the city of Miami, and I know black people who had his job at the city of Miami. It did not take a unique set of genius to realize that, hey, if I build things in a pretty location, I'm going to make a lot of money. But can we be real for a second? It does take some ability to maneuver through people that are designed to keep you outside. So I couldn't move here from Atlanta yesterday with a pocket full of money and say, hey, I'm a builder. I want to build in Miami. And expect to keep that pocket full of money and might not build anything by the end. And that's sad. But the flip side is, I don't even have someone local with developing. But that's not my point. I don't even have somebody local who I can build up, because the folks who were local, who they did build up, the politics changed and the pocketbook changes, and now they outside again.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I say this as somebody who is from Philadelphia. I've lived here 25 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I got here, first of all, as you know, Miami's culture shock to begin with. So you gotta give me 6 or 7 years just to get acclimated.
Just to get acclimated, yeah.
But then once I figured it out, I was like, okay, this is what it is. I can at least say, all right, I can point elsewhere and say, okay, this is what works elsewhere. This is what works elsewhere. This is what works elsewhere. Maybe we should do this. I remember I went to when Jimenez was mayor. Retha Boone and I, we walked into a meeting with Jimenez. Russell Benford was there when he was still deputy mayor, and I gave Jimenez a whole primer on Marion Barry and why he's the single greatest black politician of all time.
In D.C.
What he did in D.C. was he made sure that rather than have city streets where the kids shot each other all summer, he gave them all jobs. So please, Mr. Mayor, now watch this. I'm not even asking that you give every child in Miami-Dade County a job. Although I think that you could, but I'm not asking for that. But can we go into Liberty Square and make sure that all of them kids have a job all summer? That was my ask. Based on Marion Barry. They went, took it. By the time, and shout out to everybody on the commission, by the time they were finished, they took that entire job ask and made it countywide.
Yeah.
And all I did was ask for one set of kids right here across the street. But if we don't have nobody, and I got that meeting, why? Because I was then the chair of the Miami-Dade Black Affairs Advisory Board. Maybe I could have got that meeting. Maybe, right? I knew Russell. I knew Jimenez well enough. It's not the point. The point was that we had a board. He had to take our meeting.
Yeah.
He had to listen to us. The point is, those sorts of things, that's what we lose when the government says, we're going to keep you outside.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll get people like me who will be able to call and say, at least I'll take my call because they want donations from my friends or my donations or my support or whatever. At least I'll take my call. But there are enough politicians around here who will tell me to fuck off. I get it. I'm not everybody's friend. I'm not even supposed to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
Because the people who are everybody's friend, they can't really advocate because you're everybody's friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I don't need that. I don't need to be everybody's friend if I'm trying to advocate. But when we lose that ability from within an entity that in and of itself was not created for us, was not created by us, and didn't include us when it was created, we do lose advocacy.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be missing that, and you, me, and everybody else is going to have to be outside making noise.
Yeah.
That's not true. We have some wonderful people that are sitting. Right now, the county commission has 5 black commissioners. 5. You know how many votes it takes to get anything done in this town? 7. So I need 5 and 2 friends. That kind of big C community gives us a big C community advantage so long as we as a community stay united, big C community, right? That's an advantage we have. How long are we going to keep that?
Yeah.
Because our county is still 65% not us.
And this area changing.
It is.
The area I grew up in, unincorporated Northwest Miami-Dade, changing.
Miami Gardens is changing.
Yeah, Miami Gardens changing. Yeah.
Opelika is changing.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm fine with it because, one thing about black folks, no matter who your neighbors are, you usually get along with your neighbors. Right? So our communities can survive having other people join us. Where we can't survive is when other people aren't coming to join us. They're coming to disinvite us.
Yeah.
And all right, this ain't the first time I've been disinvited from a party. But the one thing I do when I get thrown out of a party is make sure I make a noise and make sure that you remember I was there.
Yeah.
And if that's where we are on the cycle, on the journey, then we should probably make some noise and make sure folks remember we were there.
Yeah.
At least that's my attitude.
Yeah. So that's what you're saying we should do with the current state of affairs with them trying to dismantle. Oh, you say July?
So July 1st, I told somebody else, I said, this could very well be, and I am conducting myself as though it is, the last State of Black Miami. Where it goes from here, whether I go to the NAACP and beg Daniela, like, Daniela, all right, you got to keep this going. That's not the point. But as it exists today, where the resources used are county resources to pull this off,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the space, like you said, or the proximity to make the report and advise.
Right.
You know?
Like, I mean, I'm a little bit different, right? Because I have dealt with, I think, let's say our most ardent, think about whoever your most ardent activist is. The one that you think is the most radical, that is just vicious and ready to fight it out. I listen to them just fine. I get along with all of them just fine. And the reason why is because, well, one, I have a rule: never apologize for black anger.
Yeah.
I don't care what the anger is directed at.
Yeah.
What Chuck D tell us, we got a right to be hostile. Our people have been persecuted. I'm not apologizing because somebody else is angry. But then two, they have every right to charge me or you or whomever they can as the vessel for that rage to go ahead and get some change going. But from the most ardent and aggressive activist to the sweetest, kindest old lady or old man, that is what our community's always been, right? And our responsibility has to be making sure that we occupy a place in there. And they occupy with us a place in there. Or else we not doing right by the ancestors.
Yeah.
Even if that, I'll exist in an America where my job is just to make other people uncomfortable. That's fine. What else we got, right? Like, we can walk in a room and make people uncomfortable. So I'm fine with just making other people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's okay. We ain't got to be everybody's friend. Or at least maybe that's not my role.
So, it's so crazy. I said this, my first episode was about what does success look like, right? Not what we've been told success is, but what does it look like? Like, how do you define it? How do you define it in community? And so that was like our first episode to lead into this. And so what does success look like going forward for black folks, in your opinion? How would you define it?
So I'm gonna give you two answers because we are at an inflection. Like I said in the beginning, there's a possibility that by the close of 2026 into 2027, Florida has a black governor. We have 3 black Congress people going to Congress. And Florida has an opportunity to chart a new course. Right? At least I know I can't lose because we were talking about that town hall. If you remember, that town hall was about them changing how black history is taught
Yeah.
and the benefits of slavery. I know I can't lose because the leading Republican candidate actually cursed out Ron DeSantis too about there being no benefits to slavery. And I'm going to expect that the Democrats do the right thing and give me an all-black race. And I got Jerry Demons, who I know is going to do it. But even setting that aside, I'm going to get a change from a worse Florida that I got today to a better Florida, even if I don't get everything I want. And I know I'm going to stay consistent on trying to get everything I want. So I think I am optimistic that we're going to have a better Florida. We're going to succeed in having a better Florida by the end of the year. But Florida is so messed up. What does that mean for us as a community? We're still behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
We still play. I can be better off then than I am today and still be playing catch up.
Yeah.
So what does success look like? It looks like us looking and saying, are we going to continue playing politics the same? Roy Hardiman, you mentioned Roy. Roy Hardiman got to see, and we are so worse off after his passing. But Roy Hardiman got to see the old ways and the old days, and the new ways and the new days. And he was in touch with both of them just enough that we need some of the old ways and the old days in order, because those days are not that different than today. We need that in order to survive today, right? Yeah. The idea that, all right, I might not be able to play in your sandbox no more, but if you come and play in my sandbox, you're going to pay a toll.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Though, if that's where we have to go, where the black political power is only used to put up a fence around our neighborhood and keep everybody else out, I can't argue with that and say, oh, we can't do that. Because what choice
do we have?
Yeah, what's the game? What's the table look like? You play the chess pieces you got, right? Did you or I go up to Tallahassee and say, hey, take all this away from black people? In fact, were we even bothering anybody at the time?
No.
We were minding our business.
Yeah.
And America, because that's how America gets down, when you need political change in America, attack black people. Right? Even if you look at how immigrants voted for Trump, and everybody was amazed, like, why would they do that? They're voting against their... Oh, no. They're not voting against their own interests. They're assimilating into American.
Good. Yeah.
And in assimilating into American, the first thing you learn is, I don't have to hate anybody else except black America. And so long as I hate black America, America will accept me as not them. And that's the concept that has played out over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's what we're dealing with now.
Don't mean I won't deport you, but hey, that's what you want to do.
But
you still gonna fall in line.
Look at the play. They've played that over and over again. To date, there have been 2 Asian American governors. Correction, because I looked that up. To date, there have been 6 Asian American governors of U.S. states. There have been 4 black ones. We have been here for 450 years.
That's wild. Only 4?
4.
That's crazy.
And 4 is generous because you have to go back to Reconstruction and count 1-year terms.
Yeah. I just think about like just progress, and I always struggle with, maybe you do too, but I struggle with this. I have this yin and yang of like, do we work within Or do we just be over here and just do for self? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You do both.
you know what I mean? Like, because I understand the notion of like, yo, so, to some degree we're owed this, right? Mm-hmm. But then it's like, I'm also the people don't really rock with us.
They
like,
don't.
why we even trying to even, like, why I'm trying to kiss up? You know what I'm saying? And part of it is a mentality, is the way we think about it. But it's like, but it's owed to us. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I be at with a lot of stuff. I don't know where Where
So I'm easy. I'm easy and I'm loud about it, right? As far as I'm concerned, to me, reparations is owed, is due, is long overdue, right? Let's set aside fighting about what it looks like, who it goes to. Let's set all that dumb stuff aside for 30 seconds, because none of that really matters until the rest of the world acknowledges and understands, just like they just did in the UN, that I am, you are, we are victims of the single gravest crime against humanity, that the greatness of this country is built upon it, literally, as we sit in the middle of Miami-Dade, the city of Miami in Florida, knowing that the roads upon which we got here and the ground of what we set, our people done cleared the swampland,
clear the swampland,
laid out the foundations,
yeah.
all of it.
Everything.
There's nothing here that we didn't build, including the train to get here.
Exactly.
And to know that in order to vote, well, first, in order to be considered a citizen, in order to become a citizen, they had to amend the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
Because the Supreme Court said we weren't.
Yeah.
To vote, even after they amended it to say I was a citizen, to vote, they amended it again. And then on top of that, because they amended their Constitution and told me that I was all good, they passed laws that said I couldn't vote. And so then they had to pass a federal law to allow me to vote. And this is only just to choose who's going to be my mayor, governor, state rep, all this stuff.
Representation, yeah.
Let's not even talk about education. I went to University of Miami School of Law for law school. I was born in 1973. The first black graduate at University of Miami School of Law was out of 1973. That means 52 years. 52 years of its existence. Black folks could attend. Mm-hmm. Not en masse, could maybe attend. Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, even living here in Liberty City, we are sitting in Liberty City. Liberty City, they had to fight and shed blood just so people could move here.
Yeah.
Liberty Square, when they built it, they ain't built it for us.
Nope.
So where we are is a function of the blood, sweat, and tears. And then, just because we're talking about Liberty City, and that's funny, we're going to go right full circle. And then when they killed Arthur McDuffie, right here is where the city burned, because they killed an innocent black man for being black, having the gall to be an insurance agent, right? One of those jobs that's supposed to be a good job, and ride his motorcycle on a Sunday, they kill him. In 1980, not 1957, not 1932, in 1980. So they killed this man on his motorcycle on a Sunday afternoon. We're here where they burned, right? Where it burned. After they burned, the county got its act together, or tried to get its act together, knew it had to get its act together, and did a whole bunch of things. They created MD, but back
MD, yeah.
That's how. But they also created the Black Affairs Advisory Board.
Yeah, because that's how they ended up doing the summit and having a meeting in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
We are born from the struggle. Everything we've gotten in this country was born from some sort of struggle and violence. And you don't think I can look back to my government and say, okay, you owe me a check for all that? For all of that. For the story we just told that went from slavery all the way through to modern day Miami. I don't get a check for that. You don't get a check for that. They gave the Japanese who were interned a check after the Supreme Court said that internment was legal. But they knew that that was still wrong, and they righted that ship. So for me, yeah, I think we fight for that. I don't think we ever stop asking for that. I think we got quiet when Obama got elected, and I can understand why. And I was part of being quiet when Obama was elected because we also wanted that too. We wanted to have that seat. I don't have to like everything he did. I know I had that seat. I know I had that seat for 2 years or 2 terms. We can check that off the list of stuff that America can do for us. Now we can go back to being about getting that check. But being about getting that check on a federal level also means being about having a say and some control about what happens locally and how we're going to do that from the outside. And I say that to everybody, to the activists, to the people who aren't paying attention, to everybody. How is it that I can steer the ship of state to spend its money where it needs to spend it if I'm not making noise? And how can I make noise outside the building?
Yeah.
So we're going to have to go in the building. You know what I think one of the biggest crises is? So many of the people who benefited from affirmative action to get their foot in the door are now retiring. And we don't have the black middle managers in government that we used to. And if you've been around this town long enough, you know that everybody knows somebody who is a phone call away from somebody who can help them out when they got in trouble with the city or they got in trouble with the county or they need to know or they. That's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that broke my heart about this town, apparently something like 60 to 70% of our corrections incoming classes are black. 3 to 5% of our fire and police incoming classes were black. Corrections pays less money over the course of the career. It's the least high-paying emergency service. They're all emergency services. They're all important, but it's the least high-paying of all of them. How is it that all of us end up over there?
Because them middle management, somebody in there getting us in there.
That is exactly right. Somebody knows somebody who worked there and said, okay, come on, you come on over here.
We ain't got that in the fire department.
We ain't got that in the fire department. We don't got that in the police department. They were like, well, black folks don't want to be police after George Floyd. There's some of that is true. But those corrections classes are still 60% black. So you can't sit here and tell me that they're not going to enforce no laws. That's not happening.
Yeah.
And more importantly than that, what happens when you lose that brain drain? You lose the know-how to, once you get the job, somebody, mentoring you, hipping you to the game. Hey, don't mess with such and such.
Don't do
Don't do this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
All the inside track, all that we've gained over this time, sadly, we are losing with nothing to replace it. Now, the people who had them jobs, that did right by the community, that did their parts, they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
We just haven't filled their ranks behind them, and the government acted to make sure we couldn't. And that's where we find ourselves. So this war is harder now than it was when I was young. When I was coming out of school, they said, go to school. You'll be able to get a job. If you graduate from college, you'll be able to get a job. But more importantly than that, I said, well, I want to be a law school. I want to go to law school. They said, all right, you do that, you're guaranteed to make money. Right? Well, and by the way, I don't think that much of that has changed. here was the hustle. They made it so expensive for you to actually pursue 4 years of college, 3 years of law school, that if you came dead broke like I did, I came to Miami literally in the 83 Datsun. How you gonna live?
Yeah.
How you gonna eat?
How you gonna eat?
How you gonna study?
So even if you did have the aspiration to be a lawyer and get the education, you just living, affordability for living is
Right.
the most. Yeah. Okay.
And don't nobody tell them stories, right? Because everybody wants to talk about somebody winning. Nobody wants to talk about how they got there. Nobody's with you when you're shooting in the gym, right?
Yeah.
I live just fine today. This is great. I was talking to Oliver Gilbert on the way over here too. Everybody has a law school tough story.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver's law school tough story is he would be in the law library till 3 a.m. and then had to wait for the metro to start up to take the metro back up to Miami Gardens because he couldn't afford to live by the school when he was going.
Yeah.
My tough story was I had an 83 Datsun. True story. The week I got here, they broke my back window because I had a little radio. Because I had a tape deck, I had a little radio. They broke my back window, took the radio. For the entire 3 years of law school, I never got that back window fixed. I put an umbrella in it. And the reason was I didn't have air conditioning anyway. And I still had to get to school, and I still had to show up in the what you call it. They're wild stories. The stories that I'm proud of, Oliver's proud of. Everybody's proud of your story on how you did it. You can't replicate that today.
Nope.
Your rent's $2,000 a month.
Yeah. How you gonna afford that? No way.
Where? Where are you gonna live?
Where you gonna live? Yeah.
Gas is $6 a gallon. Even if you could go from Miami Gardens to Coral Gables every day, how and not be independently wealthy?
Yeah.
The game changes. And so a lot of times people forget because people are quick to say, well, I made it so you can too. I like saying that. I want to encourage everybody to go to school. I want to encourage everybody to go to law school. I need more black lawyers, so I need you all to go to law school. But I'm lying to you if I tell you you're going to have the experience I had in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, listen, here are the cheapest places to go. Go, spend your 3 years, come back. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Because it's a miserable experience graduating law school, owing somebody $200,000. And who the hell is loaning somebody $200,000 to go anywhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? $200,000 used to be able to buy a condo. Now you can't do that no more.
You need damn near $1 million, $1.5 million, right?
I got into a fight with MD one time. And shout out to Bill Diggs. I love Bill. But I got into a fight with MD because for their home ownership program, the reason nobody was buying them in Miami Gardens was because you couldn't buy a house for the amount of money they had approved for you to use the program.
I tell that story all the time. We had City of Miami home buyer, county home buyer, and MD, and still got bought out by a cash buyer.
All right. You want to know the hustle who gets most of that money? I'm going to get in trouble again, but I'll tell you the hustle. What a developer will do, they'll buy a plot of land. They'll get their plans approved. They will identify their buyer. Then they will tell their buyer, go get approved. Then they will build the house because they already got your MD money already lined up and it's built into their profit. So they already get that. The buyer comes back, does the rounds. That's why they don't really care about waiting, because that's the other problem is you got to wait.
You got to wait.
Even when you have all that, you got to wait. The buyer comes back around, closes on the property. Buyer owns the property, probably paid too much for the property, but because the developer was the one who lined up everything for him, that's what ends up with that money. So instead of helping, even me as a young lawyer, there's no reason why your young professional class, you wouldn't be getting that. I want you to move to Miami Gardens, don't I? Or do I want to lose you to Broward and eventually to Atlanta or wherever else? We're losing all of our black people.
Yeah, all of them.
Right?
Almost everybody I know that, yeah, they done moved out.
Right. They done moved out. Don't, and I can't blame them. I can't get mad at him. What am I say? Well, sir, you
Stay
owe
here
it.
and struggle.
You
Yeah.
owe it to us to pay $4,500 a month rent. No, I don't owe
Nah.
you nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
I love you. I love what you used to be. Good luck with who you're gonna be now. I gotta go make moves. I get it. I understand it. How I made those decisions for myself, moving from Philly to DC to here. Right? I get it. But now that I live here, I also do want black folks to come move here. And if I'm looking to say, hey, I get it, it's expensive and it's nice and it's pretty, it's why I move here. If you have a home buyer program, but I can't buy a home in a traditionally black neighborhood for the amount of money
Yeah.
that you got a program, then what are you doing for me?
Yeah.
Right? And then, so we got, then they gave me all the reasons. They were like, what was it? AMI, average medium income. And
yeah.
if you look at politics today and you see what Donald Trump does and what Donald Trump doesn't do, you know he doesn't even know what the AMI is, which also tells you that all these things that they tell you that they have to consider, they don't really have to consider. Somebody made up some dumbass rule and now they're stuck with the rule.
The rules, yeah.
Which means everyone's been lying to us the whole time, which, by the way, is on par for America. This is kind of how America gets down. We've experienced it before.
Yeah.
What was a literacy test? Well, other than not the same for white folks who took it than for black folks, right?
Yeah.
So we're used to operating in this world where they change the paradigms within which we operate. But I'll always be able to point to what's going on in D.C. right now, what's coming out of D.C. right now, and say, don't tell me about your rules because you don't even believe them.
Yeah.
You don't. Y'all done changed the congressional maps of 19 states
Yeah. Yeah.
in an off year because somebody said something on Twitter. Don't tell me about your rules
Yeah.
because I ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah. Y'all do it whenever y'all feel like it, whenever it's convenient.
So clearly the rules don't exist to do anything other than to disinvite other people from the party. And we should actually all operate with, as a lawyer, I took the bar. Proud I passed the bar, all that's great. I hate the bar exam. The bar exam literally is something that was implemented to make sure that black folks couldn't practice law. Right? That's what it is. What do I look like supporting something that was designed to keep me and others like me out of the practice of law? So no, I hate the bar exam. I get it. I understand it. You can tell me, hey, proficiency, this, that, and the other. As an employer of lawyers, I can tell you, law firms aren't expecting new young lawyers to know very much anyway, and there's a lot to learn, right? So whatever. But my point is, that's just an example of how the rules change in order to keep our participation to a minimum. So I'm going to do everything I can to keep our participation to a maximum. Because you asked earlier, you said, should we play inside? Yes, we have to. Because it's the only place they don't want to. They didn't let us. When we played by ourselves, they still came and burned down Rosewood, didn't they?
Yeah.
They burned down Ocoee, didn't they? So
At least we can somewhat have a heads up, huh?
it ain't even a heads up. At least I can curse somebody out after it all happens, if that's all that we can take from it, right?
Yeah.
When they go about changing this police chief or that police chief, they still need to check in with us and say, are you guys going to be okay with that? When those conversations stop, that's when we should all get scared.
Yeah. Because now they totally don't care.
Correct.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But we had clawed and fought into a world where even if we don't like the answer that they come up with, they used to have to come and ask us the question. And they're trying to get out of that world. They're trying to come up with a new world. where nobody has to ask us nothing. We're just going to accept whatever they give us, whatever they decide to do. I don't like that world personally.
Yeah.
I'm that big C black community, that thing that exists nationwide, worldwide, right? Like everybody went to the United Nations. It wasn't just us, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that is appropriate in how to deal with us. So they're gonna continue to try to fight us, and our job is to continue to try to fight them. I'm getting old now, so I just get to be the loud, angry old man on the sidelines. Say, get off my damn yard, but it's fine because guess what? The kids are gonna take it over, and how are they gonna react to everything?
Yeah.
Although I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I don't know, because they got some guy running around called some dude called Chud running around calling everybody N-word on this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I blame.
Content.
I'm looking at the camera right now. I blame every zillennial and millennial. It's all your fault because Gen X would have never allowed for none of this. None of it. So, but I mean, that's just the world we live in, right? He doing it for content and clicks and views.
Yeah.
I gotta worry about our kids actually catching real records for this.
Yeah, and that be the implication. It was one creator around here with the same thing, but we was kind of like looking at him kind of sideways. We got so many calls about him. You know, I don't even remember his name. I don't even know what he looked like. But I remember when they came across our radar, I said, "Well, look, put the whole neighborhood." We was like, "Put the whole neighborhood on notice."
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Like,
all right, I'm getting in trouble for this one too. Nobody should come to our neighborhood with it. You on South Beach and you go do it. I can't vouch for you, but I can't prevent it. You decide. At that point, I think that's a little bit more personal. That's an invasion of your house.
mm-hmm.
You stay on the beach with it. Mm-hmm. I don't like. I'm mad. I'm still mad at the beach anyway for scapegoating us for everything that's ever happened on the beach
Yeah.
in March.
Yeah.
In order to change it up and build new condos on the beach.
Yeah.
That's all that was, by the way. You know
that
that was.
Yeah, all that was.
All
And now
that-
they done brought it back. Yeah, they inviting us back. Like, nah, dog.
No, you got it.
Yeah, keep it the way, because
Y'all-
it's failing. It's failing now. Like,
Y'all got
everything y'all implemented.
Y'all knew what y'all was doing. Y'all said, "Oh, we don't want y'all on the beach." Okay, good. I don't want to be there. Right? Like, I'm good. But no, so keep that over there. Don't let them run around no Miami Gardens. Don't run around Liberty City. You stay over there with it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the one place we should be safe from that, if the rest of the world's going to go there anyway, is here. And I think that's probably, real rap, that probably takes us all the way back in time to the ancestors. Mm-hmm. That has to be how they were living, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we got this over here, you over there.
Y'all stay over there.
Yeah.
That's okay. So yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad because you don't know, and I don't know, who's doing it for views and who has those views, right? They're two totally different
Yeah,
things.
it's two totally different things.
Some of these kids just say dumb stuff to say dumb stuff, right? That's not their ideology yet. It could become it, but it's really not their ideology. They just saying dumb stuff for clicks and views. I don't have the luxury of debating which one you are, right? I got to take everybody at their word at this point.
Value, yeah, if you said it, you felt that comfortable about it, and it ain't about, you living with it 5-10 years down the line, you know what I'm saying? Now you're like, oh, that's not me, that was me when I was. It's like, nah, but you should have known better. Like, if you did it for clicks, what's to say that somebody don't approach you with some money down the line later and you do the same thing?
Yo, we live in a world, literally we live in a world where in 5 years the dude Chud could run for Congress and he might win.
Yeah, that's the reality of it.
Right? As racist as it was when I was coming up, they never said David Duke to Congress. He ran a couple times. Came close once. Real, like, to the governor. He came close to something.
But he ain't.
But he ain't win.
Yeah.
Like, even back then, folks was like, yeah, no, I get it, but that's a little bit too much for me, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In this environment where we are now, where everybody else's politics gets to be vulgar and nasty and disgusting and demeaning, and you gotta know me for, you we shall overcome. Yeah, everybody. How about everybody kiss my black ass for 30 seconds and see if it works, right? It seems to work for everybody else.
Why it don't work for us?
So I mean, they're doing it right now. You see up there in Broward where they got Debbie Wasserman Schultz about to run for Sheila McCormick's old district. That was Alcee Hastie's seat. That's a black seat.
Yeah.
And everybody else can look at it and say, hey man, sorry, but this is my block now. No, if everybody else gets to do that, then we need to circle the wagons and do that too. Sorry, you can't play. Good luck in your endeavors. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because if we do it, all of a sudden, oh, we're being exclusionary or we're being racist, which I think is wild. But if they do it, oh, well, what else is she supposed to do? She's been in Congress so long. Listen, I don't care what she do.
Yeah, go find another job.
That's not my problem.
Yeah.
My problem is black congressional representation in the United States of America that doesn't want black congresspeople. That's my problem. If your problem is Debbie Wasserman Schultz, then I could care less, baby. She could move to California, right?
Mm-hmm.
She can, I'm sure, go serve someplace. She need not serve where I am, and I'll be the person to say it. She can't speak for me or my needs anyway.
Yeah. So how is she gonna run, let alone get elected?
But guess what? She got $2.5 million.
She
can run, right?
She can run, yeah.
This is the world we're living in. And you know what? Republicans did on purpose. They were like, well, it'll be funny. Let's make the Jewish people and the black people fight. I get it. I know it's a plan.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know it's a plan and you know it's a plan, but you still sharpening up your knife, what am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, map came out. I said, okay, we all good. We still got four blue spots. I got you.
Yeah.
White America said, oh no, we got it, all right, but it might not be you. All right, at that point, I get to get offended. I get to say, oh, I thought we was allies. I thought we was cool. We was in this together. We not? It's a different hustle.
I know for me, every time I look at him, like, I know what time it is. I don't even think twice. I be like, yeah. Keep you at it. But I give you a chance, but I'm gonna keep you at a distance. That's like my that's always been my thing. Like, I hear you out, I listen to you, but I'm still gonna keep you at a distance. I tell people, you ain't invited to the cookout.
Oh no.
But you can but we'll give you a to go plate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you're not invited. You can drive by. You happen to drive by, we'll slide your plate. But as far as, nah, ain't happening.
Because everything has become so transactional. If you were to tell me 10 years ago that this was even possible, I'd be like, no, it's not. She's not going to do it. Come on now. Come on. All that they was talking when they were trying to get Hillary Clinton elected, no, they would never do that. Why would she do that? And where are we?
Mm-hmm.
We sitting right here in a world where here's your field of black talent. As it stands right now, it could change, right? Because like I told you, you got Luther Campbell, Rudy Moise, Elijah Manley, Dale Holness, all sitting in this race already. And Sheila's running again. Sheila shouldn't have run the first time. Let's not even talk about Sheila.
Why is she still?
Sheila's running again, even though she resigned from Congress, but whatever. But
that's the reason why I'm confused.
All right, don't be confused.
Back to what you said earlier. Yeah.
The truth is she didn't live here to begin with, so she shouldn't have been running the first time when she ran 2 cycles ago.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
it appears, and I can't say for sure, but the story they're telling is she got a check for $5 million. It was like, oh, what's a good way to flip this? Is what it appears. I'm not saying that's, I am saying that all that happened in Maryland and not in Florida, but here we are. I get mad about that because there's so many good people who live here, who are invested in here, that when people from out of town, and this got to be a Florida thing, right? When people from out of town come into town and try to take what I think or I view other people are in line for, in this case, Alcee Hastings' seat, I'm like, but there's good people right here who care about here, who are talented here.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up. But it happened, and then she kept her seat. You got to respect.
Yeah.
The results say, the people say they like what she was talking about. And what was she talking about? UBI and some other stuff? It is what it is. Did she do UBI? No. Did she champion UBI? No. But it is what it is, right? I can't argue with the decision of the community. The community made the decision.
Decisions, yeah.
But now the community gets another chance at the decision. And somebody from outside the community is going to come in there and deprive the community of the decision because they feel they need to be in Congress? Dog. That's absurd. But that's the world we live in.
Yeah, because it's one of those things like you would think that it can't happen, but every time and time again, it does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was told, a wise man once said, it's a way to think. It's a way that things are, and a way that things should be, and most people live in that world of what it should be, and not in the reality of what it actually is.
Where are you today? Right.
Yeah.
Well, think about what we was talking about earlier when it's funny as hell. Project 2025 did not have that in the book. In Project 2025, it didn't have, the Dems are going to send Debbie Wasserman Schultz to go take this black seat. That wasn't in Project 2025. So when we have conversations about politics, why are you talking to me about Project 2025? When that's not the only threat that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm looking as a black voter right now, and I'm saying, okay, I am sometimes given a choice. Not all the time, but sometimes I'm given a choice. Am I blue or am I black? As much as that choice hurts, that's America. Right? That America's not really that loving a place for us.
Yeah.
So when you're given that choice, for me, that choice, am I blue or am I black, I'm going to default to I am black because I'm going to remain black. And blue gets iffy. Blue changes over time. Blue used to be over here, not blue over there.
Yeah.
Blue moves. Black, I was born in, I'm going to die it. It is what it is. If we all decide to become Republicans tomorrow, I'm going to have an elephant on. If we all decide to go independent tomorrow, I'm going to have an eye on. Right? Because that big C community I was talking about, to me, that's more important and more powerful than a party.
Yeah.
Either party.
Yeah.
Right? Because one of the things that I've always been taught is our political leaders aren't our leaders anyway.
Yeah.
Malcolm X ain't never hold no seat. Martin Luther King ain't never hold no seat. Fred Hampton didn't hold no seat.
Yeah.
Ever.
Nope. Not one. Wasn't even looking for it.
Wasn't even running.
Wasn't even running at all.
So if our leaders aren't our politicians, then what are our politicians? Our politicians are our tools to accomplish the wants and needs and desires of the community. And it's not in a negative way. It's why do we elect people and expect them to have all the answers, knowing full well nobody has all the answers? Right? But that's, a lot of people do that. They go, oh, such and such is running. I'm done.
Yeah.
I just got to elect him. He ain't got no answers. He might be good at getting the bill passed. That's great. But if he don't know what the bill is that we need passed, that's only half the deal. So for me, I just look at it like we don't we, big C black community, we're in a different place. It's a new place. It's scary. But so long as we, big C black community, stay together and united, the one thing that history tells us is we, big C black community, will survive whatever this country has to throw at us. Because we already have for 250 years. And whatever this is, if they can't open up the Strait of Hormuz, they can't kill black America. For me, it's that simple.
Do what?
If they can't open up the Strait of Hormuz and beat Iran, they're not beating black America.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm no longer afraid of the boogeyman.
Yeah. Because they thought they was going to play bully ball with them, and it was like, nope, new era. Ain't happening.
Their bulls is like, oh, you need gas.
Yeah.
But then, just think about the lies we're told during the whole trip.
The whole trip, yeah.
Oh, we went over there because they had nukes. They ain't had no nukes. What you mean they had no nukes? They had no nukes. Obama had got them to sign a thing.
Yeah.
Did you know there was a fatwa, a religious prohibition against nuclear weapons in Iran by the man that they killed on day one? Mm-hmm. So they just opened up to, well, maybe we will get nukes. Who knows? They did that. Mm-hmm. And then
we stay throwing rocks and hiding our hand, like, you know what I'm saying?
But big C black community sees it. I don't think there's a person in the black community that looked at that and said that they wasn't lying when they said they was going and why they over there. Yeah. Nobody bought that.
Yeah, nobody. Everybody had another conspiracy about what they think was really
going on, right?
Yeah.
Much better barbershop talk than, well, we should be over there. I can walk in any community right now. No one's going to sit there and give me every reason why we should be in Iran. Not at $6 a gallon gas.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You can't tell me why we went to Venezuela because they told me it's because they had all the oil. But I'm paying $6 a gallon for gas.
Yeah.
I mean, low key, maybe they went to Venezuela so that they had a shot at winning Miami-Dade County because the Venezuelans was real mad that they kept deporting everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. I get it that this is how decisions are made aren't magic. And sometimes they're just as stupid as I just described.
Yeah.
We've survived worse. So we'll survive this.
Yeah, I believe it. So we're going to wrap this up. But I appreciate you for coming.
Hey, don't forget to tell everybody
Thursday. And I was just going to get to that. So let everybody know about the State of Black Miami. When is it? Why they should be there, and what we can look forward to going forward.
Well, Thursday, 10 a.m. at the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center. What's that? 6161 Northwest 22nd Avenue. I'm very proud of myself for knowing that by heart. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're going to be having the State of Black Miami. It may very well be the last State of Black Miami. So it's important that everybody come out. One of the best parts of the State of Black Miami, besides the fact that we do multiple topics, including economic development and health, housing and things like that, is it's not a State of Black Miami if the community doesn't get a mic. It's not a State of Black Miami if the community doesn't say what's on its mind. It's not a State of Black Miami if the members of the Black Affairs Advisory Board don't leave with a message to put into the report that goes before the county commissioners that tells the county what's on Black Miami-Dade County's mind. And we just had a long conversation explaining to everybody why they usually have no clue what goes on in our minds.
Yeah.
So I need everybody to come down. One, because it's the last one, so I want it to be the best one. And even if it's the most troublesome one, I don't care. I still want it to be the best one. But more importantly, because it doesn't work without the people. It just doesn't. We don't have anything to take back. Mm-hmm. Even if it's critical feedback, we don't have that without the people. So that's why I want everybody to come out. Plus, it's the last one.
Well, I appreciate you for spending the time with me,
man.
having this conversation. It's been good. We gotta bring you back. You know what I'm saying? Talk about some more stuff. Cause we touched on a lot of different things today.
Oh, we was all over the place.
Yeah. But
this was nothing more than a barbershop conversation anyway, right?
Yeah, and it needed to be, because I think when we speak openly about it, then we don't have to. We can then see where the holes at. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And then move from there, as opposed to, well, you did this, but why do you think this way? It's like, nah, we need to have these conversations out and open so people can have their discourse. Then we can come back, have another conversation, and it leads to more conversations where we can actually get somewhere. You know, and like you said, I agree. Now that you said what you said about, us having a plan and having an agenda, it's not for us to have the plan. We can create the plan, but who's going to take it and then elevate it and
Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Right? Like, we need to have a conversation. Look, we had a long conversation. I mentioned a lot of people. Some glowingly, some critically. But all of the people I mentioned, they all have one thing in common. They got mentioned because they tried to do something for the black community. I don't have to like what they do or not like what they do. But we all should respect that they tried to do something for the black community. So if we have a conversation, we come up with our agenda and send it out into the world, and they want to spend hours just arguing about why it's wrong, but then figure out what they want to do, then we've done our part to do something for the community. That's what it is. So, listen, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Well,